directly slashed him.
Exactly.
Doesn't have to
And
worry
it's
about
just
the
like, I
most
mean,
destructive
Minato
thing of all
is
time.
smarter than Hashirama. They're doing a game of strategy. Minato is winning the strategic aspect of
Yeah.
their battle. That's not really up for much contention. So, I mean, the question's really, what it really is going to boil down to is, will Hashirama, A, just be too fast to react? So let's just say Minato throws the kunai by Hashirama's head and then he teleports there. Is Hashirama's reaction time gonna be too quick to where he just reacts to Minato's actual attacks? Or will Minato be able to land it? Now, part of this does depend on exactly. Basically, are you looking at the Naruto manga or the Naruto anime, the Obito fight? Because in the manga, it just cuts to Minato hitting Obito with the Rasengan, which you can imply is like he basically did the motion of the Rasengan enough to where when he teleports, it's just hitting Obito. Versus in the anime, he teleports above him, then swings down with the Rasengan. So depending on how Minato actually does his move here, could influence how well this works.
Yeah.
But even then, though, the question is just, will Hashirama be able to defend? If yes, that's Boat's problem because Hashirama just has higher firepower over Minato by a long shot, on top of like other things like the wood style that like catches limbs and shit. And if no, the next question is, okay, well, can Hashirama just heal Minato's damage? He's got very good healing. Will his healing be too good for the amount of damage Minato can output? That's one. Second, let's just say none of that's going to work. If Hashirama just surrounds himself in a wood golem shield thing, can Minato get through that? Minato's got to be able to do all those things to win this fight. That's really what it boils down to for Minato. It's more just, is Hashirama's defense too good? Is his healing too good? And is his reaction time too good? If any one of those are too good, that's kind of just a problem for Minato because Hashirama's stamina is definitely better than Minato's.
Well, if Hashirama like hides inside of a sand golem, like Gara hiding inside his sand, or it's not his wood golem, the same way that Gara would hide inside his sand bubble, Minato could just wait him out. So I feel like the same argument
No,
just
but
applies
I
there.
mean, but yeah, but again, though, like Hashirama's stamina, he's got more chakra than Casey on Naruto, apparently. How else is that gonna work?
No, I don't mean that Minato has to like try and get in there. He can just sit down. Like, just
Yeah, I
wait.
know, but like I mean, yeah, again, Hashirama can then also attack with other things, and Minato just teleports away or whatever. But then, if that's the case, Hashirama can just rest too.
Okay.
And then at that point, they're not really fighting, so it's kind of like,
Yeah.
okay, like, is that even a fight?
Yeah. What I will say is that he doesn't need to like slash his throat or whatever with the kunai, even though he could. I think people underestimate Minato's AP. Like they're like, oh, he just doesn't have anything to take down the third Raikage, and they could fight forever. He just can't damage him. Bro has a big ball Rasengan. This melted Obito Zetsu arm. Like you hit this anyone. Just one of them, you get a direct hit, they're done. They're out of the fight. They've lost. Even Hashirama. His healing cannot keep up with that. Kabuto's couldn't.
I mean,
Hashirama's
Obito.
arm would fall
Obito's
off.
arm thing's tricky because Obito's arm is, well, it's kind of inconsistent, I guess, but it's not that durable because bro just like he pinched his arm off in Five Kage Summit. It doesn't make his arm look that durable
Okay,
though when he can just
Raikage
pinch it
sliced
off.
his arm off like it was butter.
But the Raikage at least was using lightning style, which is known for its cutting, not just pinching with his bare hands.
Okay, we've seen the
But Zetsugui
normal
arm, I don't know.
Rasengan
It's not
plenty of
reliable
times.
for durability.
We've seen what the normal Rasengan can do. Minato had the big ball Rasengan.
I know, but like it hit Obito's back and bro just got up was fine. So you get like, and Hashirama's only got more Hashirama cells than Obito.
He was not fine. His arm fell off.
Which is weird, because didn't he hit him in the back?
Yeah. You know. He hit his back off.
Why did his arm fall off? As I'm saying, I don't trust this
Bad
arm
mistakes.
durability. Just
Bad
fell off.
Listen, all I'm saying, Big Ball Rasengan, stronger than Rasengan. You probably have to have the normal Rasengan mastered in order to even begin learning the Big Ball Rasengan. So I'm assuming his Big Ball Rasengan, it's a freaking big blast. Like, I'm assuming it's doing around the same amount of damage minus the poison that, like, a Rasen Shuriken would probably do. Because Rasen Shuriken just nature style on a
No,
small
it's just like
Rasengan.
the one that Naruto used on Itachi in Katsukage Rescue Arc.
No, I know, but I'm saying it's probably around the same amount of damage, and that Rasengan was hurting the third Raikage. The Edo
It's not
Raikage.
Rasen Shuriken level damage. No.
I think it is.
Why nah, bro. Not? With the especially the debut, the Rasen Shuriken would have made that gigantic ball in the air that Kakuzu was.
Okay. The debut of the Rasengan also did the same thing against Kabuto. We can't be counting that as an outlier. Okay, that's nonsense.
Well, in the anime, it was like a Chidori actually.
Nah, bro.
Lightning flares.
He was blasted back and like he was inside. Naruto made an Odama Rasengan against Kabuto. That's what that was. That blast back. It was ridiculous. He was in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, regardless, I do think just given that Obito was able to stand up, there's a good chance that Hashirama's not gonna be dead from this. I think he can heal from it just fine. But if Minato repeatedly is hitting him, well, then obviously that poses a problem.
I mean, why do you think, minus the poison, that the Rasen Shuriken's more damaging based on every other feat of the Rasen Shuriken? Because think about it.
Based off how it looks when it hits people and how damaged they are and the damage displayed on the page and the screen. It's like a much bigger looking explosion. It's got a change in chakra nature. Just the size of it in total is pretty I know, like, obviously the shuriken changes the shape, but if you like condense the shurikens into a ball, it's pretty much the same size plus the additional nature that makes it stronger. It just, without the cutting off your chakra network stuff, it just the nature itself makes it stronger. That's shown in Naruto's Wind style Rasengan versus Kakashi's Rasengan, where they're the same size, and Naruto's just is stronger. So I don't think. I mean, the implication, the point of learning this jutsu is that it will be stronger than the Big Ball Rasengan that Naruto already had.
Okay, because the poison, I agree. It adds
no, it's not why. That Kakashi was not. First of all, it's not poison. Second of all, Kakashi wasn't thinking about how the Wind style Rasen Shuriken was gonna destroy people's chakra networks. No, the point is just that it's stronger. It just is stronger.
He's not learning it because it's stronger than the Big Ball Rasengan. He's learning it because it's something to add on to the Rasengan to make the Rasengan stronger. He can add this to the Big Ball Rasengan.
Yeah, but if it was weaker than the giant Rasengan, it's just like, what's the point?
Because he can add it to the giant Rasengan.
He couldn't do that shit until the war arc when he was using KCM Kurama avatars.
Oh, okay, so he just shouldn't learn it then. He also couldn't learn the Rasen Shuriken for 3 years.
We can examine the damage displayed on Kakuzu after the Rasen Shuriken versus Itachi's body double with the giant Rasengan if you want.
No, because it's all the poison.
There's no poison.
There's no poison. You know what I mean. I don't know why you're crying.
Why do you call everything poison? And bro, nah. Well, let's make that a chat poll.
My point is that listen. I'm not saying that it's not stronger. I'm saying that they're relative.
I don't think so, man. I think
ignore the Shuriken aspect.
I think that the Rasen Shuriken is just straight up superior.
The Rasen Shuriken is just a small Rasengan
with extra wind style shurikens floating around it.
Yes, but you're being hit by the small Rasengan, so it's a upgraded version of the small Rasengan. The Big Ball Rasengan's an upgraded version of the small Rasengan. Yeah,
but the wind style upgrade's just better.
Oh my god. Okay, do you think if the Edo Raikage was hit with a big ball Rasengan, he would have received the same amount of damage?
I think it would have received less damage because no. This is also you got to keep this in mind. This is going to work against me, but I'm going to be fair. The wind style has a nature advantage over lightning style. That's just going to be lost. So you're not even going to have that benefit going for you when you use the big ball Rasengan on the third Raikage. So even if they're relative in power, just losing the elemental advantage is going to make it do worse.
Mm-hmm. Well, losing the
Hear
size
me?
would make it do
Hello?
worse. But I don't think you should base it on size anyways, because then the compression Rasengan's weaker than the normal Rasengan.
Well, I'm not basing it off size. I think the wind style is just makes it stronger than making the Rasengan bigger.
Well, the point isn't about how big the explosion is. It's about how much damage is done.
Yeah, and there's way more damage done with the wind style Rasengan. Because first of all, if you're gonna word it that way, then you have to account for the chakra network damage. But even if you do exclude that, I still think it does more physical damage.
The chakra network isn't
External
doing
damage,
DC.
I'll say.
It's not doing destructive capacity.
I think he does do more destructive capacity with the wind style Rasen Shuriken over the big ball Rasengan.
It would just be sending needles into the
He made a gigantic ass crater into the ground. Like this thing is huge. And then when he uses the thing on the Itachi body double, he ain't doing that shit.
Okay, and Naruto bodied the Tendo path with a normal size Rasengan.
Yeah, a fatigued ass Tendo, and he also beat all the paths of pain with a noble Rasengan because their dead bodies and their durability isn't that great, although it is inconsistent because Tendo Pain's getting smacked in the head by Karaba's giant blocks of earth.
We're not gonna call Tendo's durability bad, okay? He's surviving tailed beast bombs.
But that being said, I do think
Rasen
some of that is anime only, so I don't actually know what is like in the manga fight, but I know in the anime, Tendo Paint's got some crazy durability followed by just losing to the Rasengan.
Well, something that is in the manga, and you know it's in the manga because his Akatsuki cloak is torn. He just tanks a Biju bomb. In the Six Tails fight. He tanks the explosion of a Biju bomb. Tendo Pain.
You talking about the laser beam thing?
The thing that rips his cloak. That's how you know he's damaged by it, because his clothes are torn. He just takes it.
Let me see, because in the anime, I know he deflects a laser beam with his rod.
Anime adds a lot of stuff.
And I don't know if that's what you're referring to, because let me just skim through. The manga fight's not that long, so
you'll see the explosion in the manga.
Let me skim through when he gets his shirt torn. Okay. Biju bomb explodes. Does this even hit Tendo though? Well, I guess did he just tank a Biju bomb?
I told you! Yeah, there's something used in debates all the time. It's just crazy.
I mean, in fairness, it could have missed because the trajectory of where this is going doesn't look like it. Okay, hold on. Let me.
No, but that's my point, for a second? Though. He's not hit with 100%.
Okay, I'm gonna take a screenshot. I want you to zoom in on the bottom right, and we'll try to see where this. Because it looks like it's shooting away from him, so he might just be costing the. He might not be directly tanking this, but he might just be in the blast radius.
Well, no, that's my point, though. But there's no way to directly tank it because Pain isn't the size of the explosion. So because the explosions
but I mean, like,
aren't Pain, he's not tanking the full Biju bomb. He's only tanking part of it, which is the.
No, but what I meant was like. What I meant is the purple ball doesn't look like it's hitting Pain. It's more of like it explodes near Pain.
That's fine. The purple bomb isn't the destructive part anyways.
Well, I imagine it hurts more if it hits you directly.
I mean, it probably adds on to the damage of the explosion minimally, but the explosion is the damage. It's like saying a grenade being directly hitting you technically hurts more, but it's the explosion of the grenade that matters, not the grenade hitting your shoulder or whatever. It's like yeah, you're hitting the shoulder with the grenade, but it's the explosion that matters of the
Well,
grenade.
in any case, that's crazy that he did that. But in terms of DC, I'm looking at it here. I mean, Naruto just got a little bit of rubble breakage of the ground when he does the giant Rasengan to Itachi's body double. Meanwhile, there's a gigantic ass crater in the ground when he beats Kakuzu. Clearly
Okay.
did more damage to the environment.
Okay, I already know the counter you're gonna use, but Naruto wasn't aiming the big ball Rasengan at the ground. He was aiming it at the body double.
And he was aiming the Rasen
Aiming
Shuriken at Kakuzu, not the
Yeah,
ground.
I know. But the body double died, Kakuzu didn't.
The body double's weak as fuck.
Actually, the body
It's
double is
Yura.
already dead.
That too. But I'm gonna take a couple of screenshots here.
Okay. Well,
Give me a
one more
second
thing
to
I want to say
gather all
is this
these.
just means that the big ball Rasengan has more focused of an attack because the environment isn't as destroyed, meaning more percentage of the big ball Rasengan's damage is going into the person rather than shot off into the environment, whereas the big ball or the Rasen Shuriken, if it was doing all the damage on the environment, if it did that instead onto the person, it'd be more efficient of an attack. If that makes sense.
Maybe, but it's still damaging the person way more. It's just like, like regardless, it's just doing more damage.
What I would look at, I wouldn't look at the needles spinning around it, the shuriken part of it. I would just look at the wind style Rasengan Naruto did against Kakashi in the training. Because that's the damage part of the Rasengan.
Hold on a second. Sending you. Whoops.
That's really what I'm talking about, since I'm excluding the shuriken part of it anyways. Plus, Naruto's here isn't as big as Minato's regardless.
That as well.
There you go.
Why is this taking so long to load? All right, let me go find Minato's.
Oh my god. Plus, again, Minato isn't hitting the ground at all. The crater isn't from the Rasengan at all. It's from Obito hitting the ground that hard. Obito made the crater in the ground from his body flailing into it at Mach 10 or whatever. Similarly to the God Tree, the crater is from Madara hitting it, not from Night Guy. Night Guy doesn't hit the God Tree in one of the versions. Only Madara.
My Wi-Fi's acting up now.
Oh, did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you, but oh my god.
Do you want me to just stop sharing my screen so you can share your screen so I can just see it that way?
No, hold on. I gotta fucking undelete this shit now.
Oh my god. Well.
Okay. Hopefully those are all Kakuzu ones.
Let's keep in mind,
And
Naruto also tanked the Rasen Shuriken. He was just as damaged by it as Kakuzu was, basically.
He did not get... No, he wasn't just as damaged. He only got a March
Kamui? Your Wi-Fi? Kamui? Well, while Kamui fixes that...
Why can't you
Oh,
hear
there, I can hear you
me?
again. It's probably your Wi-Fi.
Okay, good. I was gonna about to lose my mind. Okay, anyway. Hear me?
I hear you, yeah. I have a point,
Okay.
but I know you're about to make one, so...
Well, first, I'm just sending all these images before my Wi-Fi gets messed up again.
Okay.
Okay. So I sent Naruto's, I sent the Rasen Shuriken, and I sent Minato's.
Yeah.
So you can see them.
Yeah.
And well, Naruto's definitely does the most damage to the environment. We don't really need to dispute this. As far as size goes, I understand, different perspectives and stuff. I really don't think Minato's looks bigger than Naruto's. I think they look comparable.
Was the crater even from the Rasen Shuriken in the manga in the Kakuzu thing? Or was the crater already there? Because I don't understand how the
Yes.
crater even gets there. Like, it doesn't make sense. Because
Look
Kakuzu is
look
hit
at the
in the
the
air.
one look at the it's just that big. It's like Boroshiki's massive Rasengan on Boro.
I get that, but based on the shape of the crater, he would have had to have been hit on the ground. Like, I don't think you
No, it's
like that
just
as an
that big
argument.
of a sphere.
No, what I'm saying is that, like, the vertical part of the sphere is, like, coming out of the ground. That shouldn't be the case.
What do you mean?
Look at my screen really quick.
Your screen's showing the
Oh my
YouTube
god.
thing.
Okay, here. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, here. You know what? I'll just do it this way. Just to make it even more blatantly obvious what I'm talking about. I'm gonna take a screenshot of this.
Well, now I can see you.
Yeah. No. So, okay. What I'm talking about, and I'll tell you what you think it is afterwards, but what I'm talking about is, let me get this, we're gonna make this red, make this slightly bigger. So, based on the shape of this crater, and again, it's using the shape of the crater, so I don't think you would like this as much. This is about the shape, which means the middle of the Rasen Shuriken, aka where Kakuzu was, would have been right about here, which just doesn't make sense. He'd be on the ground when he was hit in the air.
I get what you're saying. It's because it should be at the center of it.
Yeah, because based on yours,
I'm just gonna say art.
It would be more like this, in which case he'd be like in the air, like up here or whatever, to fall down as he does on the manga panel.
He is in the air.
Yeah. But like what I'm saying is that the crater is very vertical.
Well, you know what though?
It shouldn't be.
Well, hold on. Actually,
depth.
It can just. Well, no, hold on. He can just be in the air, and so I wish I could visually draw this, but he's in the air. Okay.
Is the Rasen Shuriken ovular now? That's what you're arguing.
No, what I was gonna say is, so instead of, okay, imagine, okay, make a circle. So instead of Kakuzu, okay, instead of Kakuzu and the Earth being right at the center height-wise, so height-wise when I say center, instead of them being there, the Earth can go to like where it says thunk thunk or whatever that says. That can be the Earth. And so it's still carving a little bit into the ground. Kakuzu's at the center, which is in the air by comparison. So if it only carves a little bit into the ground and most of the explosion's just out of the air, so just not half and half, basically, that could still make a crater in the ground while Kakuzu's in the air.
I don't understand. The only way that makes sense to me is if Kakuzu made the crater by being hit so hard down into the ground, but it seems like he's just falling, not really.
No. The point is that there's a giant explosion, but it's just not, the center of it isn't at the ground. It's carving into the ground. Look, so imagine like if Naruto makes a Rasengan in his hand and he only lets a little bit of the Rasengan hit the ground. He's just gonna make a small crater, and it's not half of the Rasengan hitting it. I don't know how else to describe this, but it works.
That if you say it works, then it works. But the way you described it to me doesn't make sense at all. Because like you're talking about,
I don't know how to describe
in this case. I don't understand, why is the Rasengan up here, but then the damage to the crater is down here?
So, what? I mean,
Is the Rasengan
I don't know how. Oh my god, I don't know how I'm supposed to describe this to you. The point is, the rotating ball can just have only a little bit hit the ground, while most of it isn't touching the ground. That will still make a crater in the ground. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is because it's vertical, that implies about half of it hit the ground. So yeah, half of it is
No. I don't think it implies it's half. It doesn't have to be half. Like, because it's not vertical.
It's looking pretty
that perspective, you can't tell. Dude, it's Kishimoto's art, bro. Like, well, give it a break. I mean, also, if you look at the other image, if you look at the other image of where the ball is, like when it's hitting Kakuzu, is that orange-looking ball?
You didn't post that one, I don't think. Oh, here.
No. Scroll down. Next one. There you go. Okay. You can see the curvature underneath. That's not half. Most of the ball is above the ground. Only, as I'm describing, only the bottom third or fourth is hitting the ground. Because it's curving inwards. And you can see. So it's how I was trying to describe it. So you could argue that the crater in the next panel doesn't make sense because it's too vertical or whatever, but
well, that was
the point is
argument, yeah.
But like the point is, ignoring that, the way the ball is drawn is what I was trying to describe.
Okay.
For how he could be at the center and above the ground.
Well, Kamui, you understand. Now, how do I describe this? You understand if Naruto like formed, like he had his palm on the ground, he formed a Rasengan. So it's like a very tiny hole is what we see, but like there's actually a circle in the ground below it. We just wouldn't be able to tell. Like, why? What? I understand why you're even saying this, but
wouldn't be able to tell what. You'd be able to see the hole in the ground.
You'd be able to see a small hole.
Yeah.
You'd be able to see like the
just
depth of
not
it,
as
diameter.
big as the whole one. Yeah. The point is the crater is still now. I obviously in this case you'd have to zoom in. Like I'm not saying from a bird's eye view above the leaf village you're gonna see the hole. What I'm saying is you get a close up panel of it. You would be able to see the crater of the hole with a normal Rasengan.
Like what I'm saying is that this would essentially be the hole, to where you wouldn't see this diameter. The diameter of the hole that you would see would just be like a small little thing here. It would just be like, you know, it's not actually like this, but like kind of like this.
Even yes, it would be a smaller one. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But you would see it.
You would see this. If Naruto just had his hand here.
Well, not actually like that. That's not how it would look.
No, I know that's not how it would work in general.
You would have to move that up. You'd have to move that shape up, but yeah.
Well, no, because that's what I'm saying is what's happening here, obviously, with the thing here. But like, I'm saying it's vertical because it should be aligned with the ground based on, again, doesn't make sense, based on this.
I know what you're saying. The concavity way it looks like goes straight up to the end, blah, blah, blah. So just blame this panel, but I think also there's weird perspective. I don't.
Yeah. But like what you're saying is that it's like kind of more so up here, which I would agree with, but that doesn't make sense based on the concavity or whatever.
Yeah,
because we
but looking
should.
at the orange ball picture is what I'm describing. And
That's
so,
fine. Yeah, what we should see is the crater more like this, to where this is the concavity of the crater
yeah. So, I mean,
rather than up
granted,
here.
though, because it's a front to back angle, it's kind of hard to tell anyway.
Well, it's from like
I mean, you have the
the
side one, which makes it. I mean, it isn't quite vertical. I think you're being a little bit too hard. That being said, though, to counter that, it's too close to vertical to only be like a quarter or a third as it looks at the orange ball panel.
I
So
mean, we
it is
can
inconsistent regardless.
yeah, we can tell the angle that we're looking at it. It's not bird's eye view straight down, and it's not straight sideways like we had it just a second ago. It's not a side view. It's like at a 3/4 angle looking down at it. But again, based on that, here's Kakuzu. Kakuzu's in the middle of the crater, and here's like the edge of the crater.
I wouldn't look there. I would look to the left side. That's how I can tell it's not quite
Well,
vertical,
that's
but close
fine
to it.
because it's that way. He's still about in the middle. My point is that he's in the middle of the crater. So, but based on the angle, it's like Bloons Tower Defense 6. It's slightly angled, but it's still looking down, but it's slightly angled. But then you do it this way, and it's way longer than this one.
I don't think that's the way to determine its verticalness, but regardless, it's inconsistent. We agree.
Well, it is the way because it's at an angle, so that's how you would do it. You would measure the length of this versus the length of this, but you can just easily tell this one's way, way, way longer than
That's
this
not what
one.
I would look at. Just look at the left side. You can see that it's close to being straight up and down at the top, but it's still sloping outwards a little bit. So it's not quite at the center, but it's getting close.
That's because of the angle. But I would say if it's not 90 degrees, it's like 85 degrees. Can we at least agree on that?
Yeah, it's getting close, and that's why I said it's still inconsistent because with the orange ball picture, it shouldn't be that much, but
Exactly. It's a ridiculous debate we did, by the way. No, he's like way up in the air. It just doesn't make sense.
yeah. But regardless, this is doing more damage. I mean, the whole point, also narratively, is that this is surpassing the fourth Hokage's Rasengan. It would be pretty stupid if the fourth Hokage's Rasengan was still better than this, or even equal.
Well,
defeats the narrative purpose.
No. But we're not talking about the fourth Hokage's Rasengan. We're talking about the fourth Hokage's big ball Rasengan.
He's not even saying big ball Rasengan. That just is his Rasengan.
Well, it is a big ball Rasengan, so there you go. So, okay, I had a point to make, is that you were talking about the damage thing or whatever on this panel. So, two things about that. First of all, Naruto's arm was the only thing damaged here, whereas the damage applied across Kakuzu's entire body. Assuming the damage applied across Naruto's entire body the same amount it was applied to his arm.
Well, no, it also wasn't to the same degree, though, because otherwise Naruto wouldn't be able to use chakra at all after the first time he used it. It was still more minor.
Well, is it just that Naruto healed a little bit since the time that he got to Tsunade?
No, I think it's just was less severe. I'll look real quick.
In the manga, was Naruto able to, like, stand? Well, I guess he should be able to regardless because his legs weren't hit, but
I'm just going to look for what Tsunade says about it.
She says if you're hit with it again, then that is poison. Yeah. I don't know why you pretend like she just didn't use the word poison. She did say that word at one point.
Because they didn't. She said attacks the chakra network. She didn't say anything about poison.
Nah, she said
unless she compares it to poison, but I don't remember that.
I think she says it poisons the chakra network is the exact quote. But...
Well, let's find out what it says. Whenever this happens. Okay.
Oh my god. Might as well post it in the chat.
Sakura talking. Tsunade. This is Sasuke and Orochimaru. This is not Tsunade. When the Tsunade say this shit?
By the way, it's hilarious how we haven't watched this debate. We've probably been doing this debate thing for around an hour, which again is the length of the debate.
I know.
We basically just been debating.
Bad the audio quality of this debate was.
Yeah.
Okay, this is probably it. Here we go.
The Rasengan thing was so
His
wrong.
chakra network has been completely severed. It's hard to imagine, but it is so. Okay, the effect is more like poison than physical trauma.
There you
It damages on
go.
a cellular level.
Told you.
As attacks go, it's incredibly minute. I believe it shapes the wind into chakra, blah, blah, blah. So as Naruto, blah, blah. Don't Naruto to use it. I saw those same symptoms in Naruto's right hand. Not as severe, granted, but the same. So there you go. We were both right. It's not as severe. It's just the same concept.
Is it not as severe because it's not across the entire body, or is it not severe because per cell
No,
unit ratio?
the symptoms in Naruto's hand are not as severe, but they're the same symptoms, just not as bad. So that's why if it continues, he won't be able to use chakra at all, because, you know, eventually he'll just permanently be not able to use it in his hand.
I don't know. I
Which
see
means
what
no
you're
hand size.
saying, but I still feel like compared to like a burn, a first degree burn on someone's hand would be bad, but like you consider it more severe if that first degree burn, that same burn was spread across someone's entire body. It's more severe of a burn. More severe damage.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that well, I mean, to put it this way, Tsunade explains that Kakuzu's chakra network is completely severed. And she later explains, once a cell of the body is cut off from the chakra network, it's beyond my ability to heal it, even with my medical ninjutsu. Meaning, you just can't use chakra anymore at that point. If Naruto's chakra in his right hand had his chakra network severed like Kakuzu, it would be unable to heal, even with Tsunade's medical ninjutsu.
Okay.
So I don't think he'd be able to use jutsu anymore.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay. I'm gonna use this as a rat argument, but I'm gonna say it anyways. It's gonna be easy to debunk. I just want to hear you just debunk it. Kakuzu used jutsu in the war arc. Go ahead, debunk it.
Edo Tensei?
Okay, there you
Different
go.
body?
Yeah. Easy. It's a funny argument though.
That's still funny though.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to use a different argument, to be honest. I thought you were going to say Naruto's passive healing with Kurama surpasses Tsunade's medical ninjutsu.
Then I'd have to prove that is the only
Which
problem.
just isn't true.
Well, I mean, based on the when he was Chidori'd through the lung.
That's not his passive healing, though. That's the active Kurama chakra leaking
but
out.
he had the red eyes here in this fight, so he did have active healing. There you go.
But he didn't have the red eyes when he was on the ground after the jutsu. So he wasn't healing after he needed to heal. He was healing before he needed to heal.
Well, he was in the process of healing as he was being damaged, and then he just went out of Ninetales mode when he was falling to the ground before he finished fully healing.
Let's see exactly when he loses his eyes, if we can find it.
It's a ridiculous argument. I love it.
I don't think we're gonna be able to see this, but
at least we can see the last time he had the
last. I think the last time you see his eyes is when he hits Kakuzu. Yeah. You just don't see his eyes. When he hits Kakuzu, but then we don't see him until he's on the ground and he doesn't have.
Let's go! My interpretation is actually valid.
So we don't know if he has the eyes still during the attack.
Ridiculous as it is. I mean, I think it would make sense that he would still have the eyes during the attack. In fact, I would say, for consistency's sake, look at the Haku example. He loses the eyes once he's done attacking. He has the red eyes up through the fist going to his face, and then he loses them the second he stops his fist. So I think it's just the second the Rasen Shuriken stops is when he loses the red eyes here.
What if it's the second the Rasen Shuriken hits that he loses the eyes? Stop. Well, anyway.
I feel like Naruto was like pushing the Rasen Shuriken into him rather than just like making contact with it. You're just done, right? Do you agree?
I would say he's pushing, yeah. I just
Yeah.
kind of Rasengan 101.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, also, I'm also gonna add this, but Naruto sends Kakuzu just flying, it looks like here. They said Kakuzu, yeah. Like, this is actually hilarious. So, Kakuzu gets flown like 100 meters, like, left to right before the explosion.
Yeah. Well, this is how you know that Kishimoto was injured during this arc because this fight was cut short. Because in the manga, the hearts in him aren't really flying. In the anime, they are. In the war arc, he sort of fixed it to where Kakuzu's hearts just are flying in the manga in the war arc.
What do you mean by the flying? In terms of just in general, or what are you referring to?
Yeah. Like Kakuzu's hearts in the manga are flying in the war arc when they don't in the manga in this suppression arc.
Oh, just the fact that they can fly. You mean okay?
Yeah. Well, that they do fly is what I mean, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um, anyways, to another point I was gonna make is it doesn't even make sense really for Naruto to not have as much of the poison damage because like it's like area of effect. Like
Well, to be fair, like I just said, Naruto sends Kakuzu flying like 100 meters forward before the explosion happens. So Naruto is just out of the range of that part.
wait, what?
So look at the images.
Oh,
Kakuzu gets shot forward
yeah, that's
before
weird.
the explosion.
That's not in the I, I didn't even know what I was looking at here. That's not in the anime at all. They just completely changed this.
Let me double check real quick. What
Is
episode would this
Kakuzu
be?
even in the air here? He could he could just be on the ground.
Actually, that's hilarious. He looks like he's in the air in the next. He looks like he's in the air when you. Okay, I'll take a picture of this. This makes it look like he's in the air here, but then again, this could be perspective. He might be in the air relative to the new crater in the ground. But
Exactly, yeah,
here, I'll let
that's
you
what I'm
look at
thinking as
this.
well. I think I know it. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think it is. Based on the angle, he might be like slightly above the ground, but like maybe just a couple feet at best. I think he'd be around ground level.
Dude, that's so basically our debate was for nothing.
Yeah. That being said, the size of this crater has changed drastically. It's just ridiculous how much the retcon of the size crater this is. It's huge in this panel. Doesn't even make sense, bro. Like this is the giant Rasen Shuriken. He just didn't call it that at the time.
All right, I'm gonna go watch and see how this looks in the anime here
Oh, it
when
looks
he
so
hits
different.
Kakuzu. Okay,
Doesn't even make
he's gonna hit
sense.
Kakuzu with it, and then Kakuzu's hit. Okay, he gets smacked in the back. Does he get launched forward? No, he does get launched forward, but he gets launched into the sky too.
But Naruto's like right next to him, right?
No, he launches him way forward.
Huh. Okay. You say so.
Oh my god, does this thing look huge in the anime?
See, that doesn't make sense because it doesn't do this literally any other time. Like, why is Naruto's arm even hurt? I don't understand.
I think it's just because of the holding the Ross and Jerkin, maybe.
It didn't hurt him the first time.
Let me see how this looks when he uses it on Pain. So the second time.
I mean, The second time, dude tries to pull the animal path out of the way, and that's when the Rasen Shuriken expands. Which, by the way, can Naruto do
Yeah,
that
so let me
on
see.
control? Is he like telekinetic? He just tells the Rasen Shuriken when to explode?
Yeah, that shit was weird.
Did it in
Then he
midair.
said it
A rage
expand, and it
or
just
something.
expanded.
I just
Oh, this shit
expanded.
looks pretty
Yeah.
big here. Okay, hold on. All right, hold on. I'm gonna try to find the anime after too, just to compare. But
Okay.
um, this panel, the Ross and Shuriken at the pain fight, anyway, looking pretty big.
Well, to be fair, this is more like flat than it is round. And so it's really like the
Yeah, but
shurikens
still,
look
just I'm just saying,
wide.
general size looks pretty big.
I mean, it's not nearly as big as the Kakuzu one, but it's still pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, but compared to the War Arc ones, where it gets nerfed.
Yeah.
Let me look at it in the anime now. Um, maybe 163.
Probably about the same. Well, let's see what chat has to say about that. Boruto, I'd fail, ruined Naruto legacy. Now Naruto is the worst of the big three. Well, I don't think Boruto ruined the Naruto franchise, but okay. What's up, Rockin'
No, it
Alice?
only
Hello to you
strengthens it.
too. Hi, Alice. What's
For
up,
the most
man?
part, only strengthens it.
Okay. The Rasengan tangent is real. For real, Rockin' Alice. Rockin' Alice, who do you agree with on this one? But Kamui, can you look at my screen really quick? Well, not really quick,
Why
but
is it
like,
just
let's see.
floating in the air for so long, cutting the human path?
Like, yeah, that's another thing. It doesn't just expand, it stops moving forwards. It just stays where it is stationary in the air and expands.
And it's just like spinning, cutting. It's literally just working differently
Yeah,
from before.
yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Like, it's just not the same jutsu.
You know what? Forget the debate. I'm just
Oh, then
clipping
it
this
just
as the
randomly
Rasen
expands
Shuriken makes no
again.
sense.
Holy shit, dude, it expands twice. Just out of nowhere, it just exponentially gets bigger to blow up the human path. Was the human path just like obliterated, like beyond? Like, did we ever see the body? Was it just gone?
I
Because I would
mean,
have to wonder, why didn't the Naraka path revive the human path?
well, but then why didn't the Naraka path revive the Asura path as soon as it was destroyed? Which, by the way, I think absolutely would have worked. It can be like a funny thing, like, oh, Naruto had to destroy 7 paths of pain. And it's like, it could be a funny scene, like Naruto in the War Arc when Tobirama calls him a doofus. Like, we see Naruto, like, protect Tsunade, and then immediately the Naraka path just revives him. He just has, like, the silly, like, lip-looking thing, like, puckered lips with, like, the straight white eyes as he's looking ahead, like hunched shoulders, like what? You know what I'm talking
I mean,
about?
honestly, though, because it would have been cool. I would have preferred that, to be honest, because taking the Asura path of the fight kind of leaves a little sour taste in my mouth. It's a great moment, but it's like I want the Asura path to actually get to fight him because
Yeah,
that's one of the coolest
cooler.
paths of pain to
Yeah,
watch fight, and it's one of the strongest ones.
exactly.
And having to see Naruto overcome it when it's actually in battle would have been cool.
For sure. Especially like overcoming that we've already seen it do to other people for comparison, like Kakashi. Like if Tendo Path pulled him, and instead of Tendo Path like choke slamming him into the ground, how's Naruto gonna deal with like the chainsaw thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's why Kishimoto took it out, bro.
Yeah, for
Like,
real.
it was hard enough for Naruto as it was. Naruto was not going to do well if the Asura path was just there shooting missiles and laser beams and sucking them into chainsaws, like, are just losing instantly.
Like, of all the paths of pain, I feel like the osteopath is the most scary. Like, imagine being tortured by it. It has a chainsaw, bro. It's a better interrogation than Ibiki would be.
Well, the other thing is, like, Pain can't just like Kisame was talking about in part one, maybe I ought to chop off his legs. Pain literally can't just chainsaw off Naruto's legs, and bro's screwed. I don't know if Naruto could heal from that at that time.
Like, I'd rather the King of Hell just rip my tongue out. Keep me away from the chainsaw maniac.
I love the osteopath, bro. He's so cool. He's so goofy. He's got that smile all the time.
I know, it's so good, bro. Like, I wish.
I know. I will say,
yeah,
I absolutely would have screw reviving the Preda path, bro. Just for the Sage mode absorbing chakra scene's cool, but like, I would rather have the osteopath come back.
Yeah. So, when Jiraiya is fighting Pain towards the end, and he decides not to go back to the village so he can get more intel, he, like, rises out of the water and throws the Demon Wind Shuriken, but then, like, because of linked vision, the Pain ducks below it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was the osteopath he threw the Rasen Shuriken, or not, sorry, the Demon Wind Shuriken at. It would have been so much more funnier, and this is absolutely going into the bridge, if it just dinked off of his metal head. Just ineffective. Would have been awesome. That would have really been a great way to introduce us to the fact that he is a robot path as well. A dangerous weapon path.
It's so goofy how that's just a Renegon power. Chainsaws.
I mean, it works on the robot path. It just doesn't make as much sense on, like, the other people. Like, human Nagato pulls out a metal machine gun arm. I'm just questioning what's happening. That's not a jutsu.
Dude, I loved it though. When he pulled out the laser beam on Killer Bee, I was so hyped. I love the osteopath.
Yes. Like, I was just sitting there wondering when Sasuke is gonna pull out a machine gun arm in his fight against Naruto.
They just shooting the missiles at him, bro. I mean, that would have been cool, not gonna lie.
That's the real reason they couldn't give Sasuke all the time.
No, instead of the Amaterasu universal pull thing in the anime, he does he does universal pull into the chainsaw.
Dude, I don't care how they incorporated it. They should have had Indra's arrow come out of the King of Hell's mouth.
No. Never mind the Susanoo that he makes. He summons the King of Hell to absorb the chakra, and that becomes the Susanoo. He just fights with the King of Hell.
Instead of, like, absorbing the chakra from the tailed beast to get the upgraded lightning Susanoo, he just gets it from the King of Hell. His upgraded Susanoo. I love it.
Yeah, the King of Hell becomes the Susanoo. Just like in that. He just the King of Hell versus the Nine Tails avatar.
No, I know exactly how it would happen. Sasuke would offer the Susanoo's tongue to the King of Hell as an offering, as a sacrifice.
you know, like Nagato's talking about his tail beast weapon plan. Do you think that he was gonna like have the King of Hell eat the Ghetto statue to become the weapon? That would be fucking dope, bro. I fully support. The King of Hell was wasted.
Oh no. Do you think Kaguya could have done this with her Rene Tensei?
Do you think Kaguya could have made a summoning contract with the Rebirth Death Seal? Where he just fights with her without the consequences? Can you tame him?
I mean, I suppose so. Do you think her Rene Sharingan can perform any genjutsu? I guess technically Infinite Tsukiyomi is a genjutsu. It's the strongest genjutsu in the data book, so.
Well,
it's kind of weird she didn't just try
can do any genjutsu.
anyone.
Like, I do not think the Rene Sharingan is gonna perform the frog song
Well,
or
no, not
Tayuya's
frog
flute
song.
song.
But at the very least, just basic Sharingan Genjutsu. Like, it's probably not going to work against
Yeah,
Naruto
it
using
should be able to do
perfect reserve.
Sharingan Genjutsu because it's the Rene Sharingan.
Yeah. Like, if they wanted to keep someone out of the fight, like Sakura or Kakashi or whatever, she just could have done that. The same thing Sasuke effortlessly does against Sakura anyways.
Yeah. That Kaguya should be able to just do that. Like, no, she might not be able to use Kodo Matsukami or Itachi's Tsukuyomi, but she should be able to just do a Sasuke Genjutsu like he does on Sakura on them. She should be able to just do that on Naruto and Sasuke, but then again, Naruto would break out. I guess Sasuke could be immune, but she should just, yeah, do it on the others. Then boom, she wins.
Well, my headcanon is that Genjutsu just doesn't work on people stronger than you anyways, or at least relative to you, maybe. Relative, maybe not. Maybe just stronger, but yeah. You just chakra flex your way out of it.
I don't think that, well, depends on what you mean by strong.
Probably just quantity of chakra.
Then that doesn't
Chakra
work.
reserve.
Because then Itachi, 30% clone Itachi's not putting Naruto in a Genjutsu then.
I don't know,
That he-
okay? I'm trying. Naruto was tired from the big bar Rasengan he's preparing to do.
No. He hadn't done that yet.
What if that was actually a compressed Odama Rasengan?
Well, then maybe that would have been stronger than the Rasengan at that point. That one, I don't know. That just might work.
Okay.
I do want to see. This will never happen, but I think it'd be hilariously funny and cool if Momoshiki, probably in the anime, just does a compressed Massive Rasengan.
I'm down, bro.
The high compression Massive Rasengan, bro. That's the strongest jutsu in the verse.
Bro, I would lose my mind. So cool.
And then he combines it with the Rasengan. No, he does the vanishing high compression massive Rasengan.
Even it doesn't even need to
It's
be, but it just is
invisible.
also
He shoots
Uzumiko.
it, and it's a high compression massive Rasengan. And then he does it as a barrage. It just boom, 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 boom.
Oh my god.
Bro just destroys the earth. That would be cool. If that's how the earth gets destroyed, that's my pick. Screw the worst possible future. I want this.
Absolutely. Okay. Back to my screen. Are you looking at it?
Yeah.
Okay, couple things. First of all, I understand this is expanding, but based on how big it expands, I think some of the paths of pain don't even touch the Rasengan. They only touch the area of effect poison.
Wait, no, they don't even touch any of it.
I'm not talking about these. I'm talking about the ones that get hit by it. The ones that die to this one.
Only one got hit by it.
Okay, well, they die.
Yeah, the human path, we just never see it again.
My point is they weren't even hit by the Rasengan. They're just hit by the explosion.
No, they were... No. I mean... The Rasengan's, like, circled around it. He's, like, at the center.
Not in the image on my screen.
Oh, yeah, the anime makes it different. I don't know. It's weird. But yes, I guess he's, like, in the... He's not hit by the blue Rasengan. He's hit by the white wind style.
Exactly. That's
in
my
this.
point. So go into the Kakuzu thing. Once again, I'm not talking about the area of effect shuriken poison thing. I'm talking about the Rasengan itself. How much damage did the wind style Rasengan do to Kakuzu?
I don't know if with the Rasen Shuriken, I don't know if there is a wind style Rasengan at the center rather than just a Rasengan at the center, and the wind style becomes the Shuriken instead. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. I think visually it's depicted that way, but I don't think that's accurate. 'Cause it shouldn't be
Well,
based
because
on
like
what
I
we know.
say, he could just be expanding the wind part of the wind style Rasengan, but changing nothing to the Rasengan part of the Rasengan.
I don't think that's true. It's possible, especially how it's depicted,
I
but I
mean,
don't think
there's no way
it
to
is
confirm
true.
either way, really.
Yeah, but I think it's implied
I
that
could look
it's
at
a
the
wind style
chapter
Rasengan.
when he forms it. I guess we'll just see what it looks like as he's forming it.
Okay. Yes. I mean, well, either
Probably the
way,
first time to be
just
more helpful.
going with the hypothetical that it is the wind style Rasengan. So then again, you just remove the damage done by the swirls around it. Do you think the wind style Rasengan or the big ball Rasengan would do more damage here?
I mean, based off Kakashi's hand, it's a little
Exactly.
tricky
Yeah, that's what I would be looking
because
at too.
based off Kakashi's hand, like he loses, but I feel like we could obviously just be wrong, but I feel like he would have lost more if it was the regular, the big ball Rasengan versus it. So that the big ball might be better than the regular wind style Rasengan, but what
Well,
I will say though is I am looking at this.
yeah.
It does look to me like when he makes the wind style Rasengan, it just looks like the Rasen Shuriken, but the Shurikens are much, much smaller. It's like a regular Shuriken versus the Demon Wind Shuriken.
Hmm.
Then when he makes the Rasen Shuriken, you just see the regular Rasengan at the center, and then the Shuriken are bigger, all the same. So I don't think it's a wind style Rasengan plus the Rasen Shuriken. I think it's just the Rasengan. The wind style becomes the big Shuriken.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't the explanation for the swirls around it the fact that Naruto's spinning the wind style Rasengan faster, and the faster he spins it, the bigger the swirls? Rather than something he's
I
like
don't recall that
adding
at
onto
all.
it. It's like a byproduct of it. So I would think like the wind style Rasengan he's hitting Kakuzu with is stronger than the one he's hitting Kakashi with because the swirls are bigger slash there at all.
Well, yeah, obviously it's stronger. He upgraded it into the Rasen Shuriken.
Yeah. I'm talking about the ball
He
itself.
developed the jutsu further.
I'm talking about the ball itself though. At the middle of it.
I think that's the same. I think that's just the Rasengan. I think he just upgraded the wind style parts that he
Okay.
does. I mean, even when it dissipates, for example, that's actually the okay. Let me send you this.
Mhm.
That's the best place to look at this. It just becomes a Rasengan. You can see this. Okay, hold on.
Bro, the dissipation just doesn't make sense. Okay, that's the one thing Kishimoto's back ruined in this arc.
Yeah, he ruined more things, but like you could see the dissipating wind style shurikens first, then the Rasengan dissipates. And when the top left panel, it's just a regular Rasengan.
I mean, the swirls are here even as it's as small as it is. Swirls just stay there the whole time that we see it on this page.
Yeah, but it's the place it's all dissipating, but like
Yeah.
the Rasengan in the top left looks normal there.
What does it look like when it's the wind style in the manga? When he does it against Kakashi.
What it's what?
When he does it against Kakashi. Well, I mean, to be fair,
It's a little bit.
the wind style Rasengan, regardless, it is just a Rasengan with wind style added on top of it, even as it is anyways. And so if you dissipate the whole thing, I would imagine it would look like a Rasengan regardless, because that's what it is at its core. It's not like it's a different Rasengan. It is just a Rasengan with wind style added to it.
Yeah. Okay, so there's. I'm gonna just send you two different images. So there's because they look mostly the same, but just so you have both perspectives. So one of these, we'll say the first one is as he's beginning to form it in the Kakuzu fight before the flashback.
Yeah.
And you go to the bottom. And then this next one I'm sending is in the flashback with Kakashi. So that's his Kakashi one.
Yeah. I mean, it looks the same.
And the other one he's forming. So it's about the same. Like, obviously, the Kakashi one's slightly more formed, but that's the wind style Rasengan.
Yeah.
The farthest
I
he's
think
ever
it's
gone.
slightly more formed because it
in
just had more time to form here, whereas he's forming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he hasn't finished forming. This one he's going to turn into the Rasen Shuriken.
Exactly.
Like, he just started forming it.
Yeah.
But in the Kakashi one, basically, that's as much as he's formed. And so at this point, it's not yet the Rasen Shuriken we know. It's just wind style Rasengan, basically.
Exactly. This is as far as I've ever gotten. Finally, it at least has a shape.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is weird, because in the anime, doesn't it just not have the shurikens at all? It's just white. It just is a ball.
It has the shuriken, but it's not pronounced like that.
Yeah.
It doesn't look... It's more like a bunch of sharp edges. It doesn't look so shuriken beautifully drawn like that.
Yeah. It's also weird how Kakashi just suffered no ill effects from this. Like, his hand had a little bit of an explosion mark, but it's like his chakra network was just fine entirely. Maybe it just wasn't commented on. Maybe it was damaged and she just never got it checked out by Tsunade, or it happened off screen, etc., etc.
Maybe it was just minorly damaged, or the fact that he collided with his Rasengan helped to mitigate it, or Naruto's... It doesn't do that at this stage of Naruto's training. It just doesn't do the cutting thing yet.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's also weird. But you could just say that it's super minor at this stage. So that's why Kakashi's fine.
Mm-hmm. But from what I remember, especially in the anime, when he's forming it against Kakuzu, he's having like... he's basically having the Naruto clones do like a freaking helicopter to make the thing spin faster and faster.
Yeah.
You know, time like, so I think it is a byproduct of it spinning faster, because he's having like multiple clones do it here as compared to the Kakashi one. I think he only has like one or two. He has just two clones.
No, he has the same amount.
Oh, same amount? Okay, fair enough. Is it not more? Maybe it's not more. Well, he has at least another clone here.
But yeah, he has the fight distraction clone.
Yeah.
But he uses two clones in all cases.
Okay.
Before KCM in stage mode.
Sure. Either way, I think you get my point, though.
I do think it's a regular Rasengan at the center, though.
I definitely don't. No, it's just a wind style Rasengan. Well, it is a normal Rasengan. It just has wind style added on top of it. I think that one's just stronger.
Yeah, the shuriken.
Yeah. But okay, so then you think it was just hitting Naruto's hand? And that's why he was being damaged by it, like as he was holding it?
I'm just maybe thinking the act of holding it. Well, then again...
Then why does it not damage him later?
No, that can't be it, because throwing the Rasen Shuriken solves the problem.
Yeah.
So I guess... I guess just the act of hitting Kakuzu does this somehow. I don't know.
Well, that's why I'm saying it doesn't make sense for Kakuzu to be flung away from Naruto. Like, isn't this essentially the same as him throwing... He is throwing it here. The Rasen Shuriken's over here. Naruto's over here. He threw it. Kakuzu was just next to him when he threw it.
I feel like Naruto should have had, like... It should be a thing to where it's like it's basically just impossible for Naruto to avoid his hand. Like, just have the damage, like, as it hits Kakuzu, it starts to explode and do its thing. And because your hand touching it, by default, your hand has to get hit before you can pull it back and escape. That would just make more sense. But then you can't have Kakuzu fling, obviously. Or you could have Kakuzu fling, but have the explosion already growing as he's being flung. So... I mean, if it starts to explode, it hits his hand, the Naruto lets go, he flings forward, and then it keeps growing, that's fine.
I
The problem is that
know
it waits like 20 seconds before it grows.
I know you already saw it in the anime, and it doesn't look like Naruto's here, but is there any chance that this isn't the Naruto? It's just one of the clones, and the Naruto we know is just actually just like here, just
Nah,
covered by
I
the
watched
Blocky.
it. He
No?
like the Kakazu's clip just gets flung into the sky.
Okay. This just doesn't make sense. This is just a retcon. This is just a mistake. This is a mistake, Sam. Because looking at my screen, the only way this makes sense is if Naruto is... I'm just gonna get as close as I possibly can. Naruto has to be right here. On the very,
With
very
his
edge of
hand
it to
reached
where
out.
only his arm is inside. The rest of his body's out. It's like, what's the game of the in and out, not patty cake? You put your right leg in, you put your right leg out. Check it all about. You do the, not the rosy mosey. What is it? The posy, posy, what is it? You help me out here, Kamui. It's the hosey, the hosey the it's
You
gotta be
can't
the,
hear me.
I can hear you. What is it?
I've said it like 20 times.
Posy,
Hokey pokey.
Hokey pokey.
You just didn't hear me any of the times. Like,
No. No, Discord just didn't pick you up. Okay, it's not a thing of I was talking. You can listen on stream. It just wasn't played audio wise. But anyways, all I know is just doesn't make sense. So there you go. So yeah, I don't think the wind style Rasengan, the Rasengan at the middle of this, did much damage to Kakuzu.
I don't think that's a wind style Rasengan at the center.
Regardless, I don't okay, then I don't think the Rasengan did a lot of damage to Kakuzu. I think it was entirely, not entirely, but I think it was like noticeably majority, obviously, the shuriken part around it, not the Rasengan.
I gotta switch headphones. Hold on.
Okay.
I have to go upstairs and leave the laptop, so I won't be able to hear you as I do this.
Jesus. Well, chat, what do you think? Where is Rocket Punch Sasuke? Crazy. It doesn't really make it clear. Kishi did not do a good job with this technique. Absolutely. Prediction for chapter 15, front page, another Sarada or Kawaki cover. Interesting. Konohamaru, Matsuri, Mamushi, Ryu, Sand Village characters, Ada, Damon, or Sakura. I feel like it's not going to be Ada, Damon, Sakura, or Ryu. Ryu was recently used. They're obviously not going to use Damon, Ada, or Sakura. Why would they use those characters? Then again, why would they use Sumire on the chapter where they all fought Hidari? Sarada or Kawaki could work if they're going to be involved. I don't think they're going to use Konohamaru. Matsuri is likely, or Mamushi, whoever actually attacked the Sand Village. Maybe, like, Mamushi attacked the Sand Village while Matsuri was doing her research. Or, like, Matsuri did her research in the Sand Village, but, like, Mamushi was there as, like, a bodyguard to, like, allow her to not be distracted and focus on her research, whatever it may be. Etc., etc. Either way, the claw grimes were there for sure. But yeah. Kamui, are you back? Oh, my rocket punch, Sasuke.
Yeah.
Okay. Such a wasted idea that they never made a filler episode where Sasuke is a mech weeb using the Asura path. Crazy. You hella condescending! Well, shout out Jason Green for that one. Okay, either way. So, Kamui, this means that you actually agree with me. Minus the shuriken part of the Rasen shuriken, the big ball Rasengan is stronger than the Rasen shuriken Rasengan. Because it's a normal Rasengan.
Rasengan being stronger than a normal Rasengan.
Yeah, it's not even a wind style Rasengan with your idea of it. Which I still think it is a wind style Rasengan. So under the hypothetical that it is a wind style Rasengan, which one do you think's stronger? You still think the wind style Rasengan
Well,
is
like we already
noticeably
said with the
stronger?
Kakashi one, the big ball Rasengan might be stronger than the wind style Rasengan. Granted, that goes against all narrative implications, but it
Yeah.
might be stronger. But I think the Rasen Shuriken is just better, more wind style in the wind style Rasengan.
Okay, fair enough.
Just makes it
I
better by a long shot.
I agree that the wind style Rasengan's stronger, but I still think they're in like a relative tier of power.
I don't think the Rasen Shuriken is, but I think the wind style Rasengan and giant Rasengan definitely should be around the same level, perhaps.
Sure.
Like I think those could be relative, and that's fine. But I do not think the Rasen Shuriken. I think the Rasen Shuriken is clearly another tier above.
I mean, it's kind of, I don't know why you're saying that, because Naruto saying this is as far as I've ever gotten, finally it at least has a shape. That implies this wind style Rasengan's just incomplete.
Yeah, the complete is the Rasen Shuriken.
Yeah, but he wasn't trying to do the Rasen trick, he was just trying for the wind style Rasengan.
Dude, it's weird. I don't. Kishimoto's in the hospital, bro. I'll tell you.
I love that. This is okay. This is hilarious because
this is a bad part of the arc. Okay.
Yeah,
like,
we've technically
all the Shikamaru Hidan Asuma stuff.
Great.
This is where these go down
Yeah,
now. When
yeah.
you get Naruto versus Kakuzu.
Okay, I'm glad we agree. This is funny because we've essentially flip-flopped roles on our original argument from the original Rasengan, how Naruto was training by like hitting trees with the incomplete Rasengan. It was just carving into the trees. I was like, yeah, that's a Rasengan. And you said, no, that's not a Rasengan because it's not complete. I feel like we just completely swapped positions on this one. Oh my god. Like, this is just an incomplete Rasen Shuriken based on this.
Yeah, based on that dialogue, I don't think in my memory, I don't remember him saying it like that in the anime. I feel like in the anime he was just like, it finally took shape, as if like I finally did it.
Yeah.
Versus like, oh, this is mid, but here's what I got.
I mean, I remember them making a huge distinction between this wind style Rasengan and the Rasen Shuriken. I'll give you that.
Yeah, because Yamato is like, oh, don't worry, Kakashi. We made it even better.
But then it's also sort of implied that he does the Rasen Shuriken for the first time successfully against Kakuzu. So what was Yamato seeing? It's just a slightly bigger version of this.
But it was Naruto just
against
throwing it
Kakuzu.
against the ground. Like, what was he doing?
Like, how did it fail the first time against Kakuzu if Yamato's so confident they made it so much better than this one, which did work against Kakashi? Was the one he did against Kakuzu just objectively weaker than the one he used in training?
I mean, I don't even know why it dissipated.
Saying, bro.
Naruto never had this problem with the regular Rasengan or the giant Rasengan.
Like, if it's a timing thing, it's so coincidental that it's a nanosecond before he hits Kakuzu, which means it's likely because he's about to hit Kakuzu. But why does that mean it dissipates? It just doesn't make sense.
It's absurd that Kakuzu was even going to get hit the first time anyway. Like, you know what? At least the second time, Naruto outsmarted him or whatever. But the first time, Kakuzu just lost in the worst way possible.
Oh my god. Literally.
That's just like this guy was beating Kakashi. Like, so Naruto can just body Kakashi with his 3 shadow clone diversion tactic. Like, what?